Toastmaster, Toastmaster members, and invisible guests. Effective coaching. What is the value of a good question? Because that's really what coaching is about. When I started Toastmasters in 2016, what I wanted to do was become and work at being a world-class speaker. Not just a world-class speaker in one realm. My realm is empowerment. See, I can't take you anywhere unless I've been there myself. I want to lead with a quote, sort of an introduction about myself by Michelangelo. I saw an angel in the marble. I carved it and I set her free. And so I'm going to lead you into the learning models and what it is about coaching that I'm so familiar with. Because to me, it's no different than in and out of office counseling, which I have done for over 20 years. It's really about you, not so much about me. My passion lies in empowerment because Walking in Your Power, the book that I wrote, has become really important and a pathway I also want to take into world-class speaking, coaching, and training. A learning model is something that we pick up when we're growing up, and Rodolfo talked a little bit about it. And we hear a lot these days about paradigms, about negative thinking, criticism, the inner talk. And I want to say that there's something that we could do about looking at paradigms or learning models. And one is fact, and the other one's truth. I'm going to share a little bit about fact and truth about my walk in life. The fact is that when I was growing up, and you've heard this in some other speeches, I thought I was stupid. I thought I was never going to get it. See, I didn't realize at that age of 7 going on up to 17 years old that I was a student that learned quite differently than most people. I was trying to be them. And in order to be them, I found people to roll after so I could copy. And it set me up. I set myself up big time. Because now what I was doing when I wasn't good enough and I didn't feel good enough is I was keeping score, because I still wasn't like them. I want to say that when I was in a classroom, there was information, we all got the same, just like you do with your papers and your notes. But I was only in the classroom for 15 or 20 minutes, and I realized that all that information that I was trying to store in here wasn't going anywhere. I either got bored or I shut down. I was ashamed. How couldn't I be like everybody else? Why can't I get this? I guess I must be stupid. That's what I've been told. I've been told time again by my teachers, if you would just work hard. And I thought about it, and I did. And more frustration, more keeping score. I didn't just keep score with myself. That meant I had to remember who put me down, who called me names, who called me stupid. I also had to keep score with you and them, and remember that I was going to get even. And after a while, this gets kind of tiring, because that message from a 7-year-old to a 17-year-old to a 40-year-old wasn't working for me. So the fact is that when I looked at it, one day my son said it to me. He said, "Mom, how did you get to university and college? How did you do that? I want to learn. I can't. My ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, gets in the way." He said to me, "Mom, it's like this. I start off with a good idea, and I can't get it. It's in a mess. And before I can even figure out where I started, it's done. It's in a mess. I feel like my thinking is on fire. I can't concentrate, I can't focus." I'm like, just a minute. It triggered something inside me. What was that? And I thought about growing up and why I couldn't get all that information. See, what I didn't realize up until I was 40, and I see it and it happens to me quite regularly. You know the less than signs, the brackets, and the more than that you get in algebra? They used to flip on me. And I caught that. One time I was doing a formula up front on a chalkboard, and my prof says, "Why can't, tell me, Barb, why is it you don't it's less than, it's more than. And I was reading out the formula. I realized that the numbers were switching 6 to 9 to this thing was going on. I researched it, dyslexia. And then I thought, well, that's something, dyslexia. But the truth of the matter is, facts change. And I want to tell you today that when I learned that it was dyslexia, like this speech, I chronologically 1, 2, 3, 4. The truth is that the fact changed. Dyslexia is not a disability. It's not a sickness. It's not an illness. I don't even know why it would be in medicine. I refuse to take a label, and that label doesn't do me good anymore, because the fact is that it changed. When I turned 40, I realized that it was a dyslexia. I did something about it. I'm no longer empowered by that. See, what I did is I took that marble, which was the content of the world, and I carved it, and I understood it in my way, and I set myself free. I empowered myself, because you see, as a coach, that's what the value of an effective question was. Because I asked myself, is this true? Is it kind? What can I do to change it? Back to you, Toastmaster.